Really interested to hear about the logistics and the practical realities of, starting the space. Like I guess starting with this building. For anyone who hasn't visited the space, it is 5 floors. All the floors are quite, they're not so small, but they're not huge either. It's quite a tall and thin building in my mind. How was it to find the space? Did you have to shop around? Yeah, was it a challenge?
Well, the funny thing is, I wasn't really planning on doing this. Again, it was like a bit of an experiment. I was just looking for an apartment.
Okay, that's incredible. That's incredible. I love it. Yeah.
I was looking for an apartment. My cousin was coming to visit for a few months, and I was like, "Hey, we'll get an apartment together. I'll find us a two bed."
Yeah.
And I found this building just through like Facebook Marketplace. Like, yeah, I told you I have a
Facebook
problem.
Marketplace, there you
I have a
go.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Was this one of your bigger purchases?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And I just was like, oh, and I spoke to him a bit, like, and I was like, look, we can get this apartment for this amount. It's just like a two bed. I was like, but for a bit more, we can actually get a 5-story building.
I love it. I love what I'm hearing.
And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, okay, the building's empty. It has nothing in it. So we'd have to furnish it. But I was like, these are small details we can work out. Yeah, exactly. I was like, we can buy a bed. Like, we can install, AC or whatever. Because there's no AC, nothing. Like, it was just bare, empty building.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is going to be fun. Like, this is a project. Like, this is cool. Like, and yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna like make him an offer. Like, why not? I didn't have loads to do at that point. I was just like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And I had this kind of vision in my mind of like, oh, maybe it could go like this or that. And I wasn't that fixed, but I was like, I could do something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what specifically. This was my bedroom. This room.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Does it feel interesting being back in this context? Like...
I can't remember where everything was positioned before, but yeah, it's weird because I think I was sleeping pretty much there. Like I think they had the bed across here.
Yeah.
So when I first moved in, I just had a bed and like nothing else. Like, and then I made a room for my cousin on the floor beneath before he like arrived. So he had somewhere when he arrived. And then I just started then slowly building up the floors with different staff while I was living here. And I was like, yeah, okay, like this works. Like let's just see. And worst case scenario, okay, I paid a bit more in rent and stuff and wasted a bit on furnishing. But it's not the end of the world. It was probably be a funny experience.
Yes.
It was very surreal walking around this massive empty building every time, just to like go out to the shop, walking down all of these stairs every time, just to the echoing of just like this emptiness. It was very weird. Like so that was like 6-7 months of that before I opened. It was quite a long time where I was just kind of living here and adding stuff to it. But everything happened quite organically. Like, and that's kind of generally how I've always done stuff. Is never. I'm not good at planning. I'm not good at admin or kind of having a structure. So everything I do is quite like, oh, let's just do this, I guess. And yeah, it was a funny experience. My cousin didn't help at all, by the way, with anything. He was just working with his laptop, and I'd be like carrying like bags of sand up the stairs and stuff, or like cement or whatever it was. Like, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, but like, yeah, because he works with like AI, and so he was just working constantly on his laptop all day, every day. And I was like, yeah. He was like, sorry, I'm on a call. Like, I'm like, okay, I'll carry it.
Even back then, it was a bit of a co-working space. It sounds like
it was a little bit, yeah.
Working space, maybe.
Yeah,
because you were also carrying.
I was doing the physical stuff, which is very unlike me. But yeah, it was a funny little, a funny existence that we had. He'll probably never watch this, so he can never like conflict on that. Yeah, he can never contradict me.
I love this the vision you've created of just like let's just get this 5-story building and we'll see how it goes. And I mean we've all heard of a lot of great things in life that have gone through this journey of let's just do this thing that feels right at the time, and it's going to be an adventure worst case, and great things grow out of it. That's extremely cool. And so You started off opening up to the public the ground floor, like floor by floor. Was that the situation?
Yeah, so yeah, initially it was pretty much just 2 floors that were kind of open. The third floor was like a bit experimental with like the VR, but it was just pretty bare, like just a big bare room. And again, initially, like we had like people would come for the events. Like we did just one event a week. That's all we did. And this was like a bit of a tactic of mine. I was like, I want it to seem like it's busy because obviously I had no customers. I had no sort of like proof of concept yet. I'd had some friends round and I'd kind of take photos when they were here, like they were customers or whatever,
That's great.
to try and give it a sense of like community so that when I opened it seemed like it had this history. Because especially with like a community space, people come for the other people there.
Yeah.
So if there's no other people there,
Yeah.
why would they come?
Yeah.
So if someone comes once and it's just empty, they might just never come again because they're like, well, it was empty.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get that momentum. That was the hardest thing. So I was like, I need to like kind of get people to come, and then those new people that come feel like there's a community here already.
Yeah.
And that was like really complicated to do. Essentially, yeah, I would just be like, hey, like we'll do like this for free, and then just get extra people, just invite whoever that I knew, and then do loads of photos and videos quickly while people were there. And yeah, I would just keep it at one event a week pretty much. The rest of the time it was just empty. Like it was just empty. But then on a Saturday night, it was super busy. Like even from the start, just because I would just invite so many people to come down, just be like, just do whatever I could just to get people to come.
Yeah.
And then it was like building out from there, then slowly adding to that, like being like, okay, we'll do one more event this week and make it a bit different from this event. In the daytime, no, it was just empty because it wasn't really set up for co-working yet. So there was no reason for anyone to be here. Like very few people would come and like play board games in the daytime. So it was always a bit awkward if someone just kind of came in on like a Wednesday afternoon and was like, oh, hey, where are the people? Like, I want to hang out and chill with people, and there'd just be 0 people here. So sometimes I would be like, I can play a game with you. But yeah, often they'd just go, and I was like, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that was the trickiest part, was like building the sense of community when there is nothing there, when there's 0 people. So yeah, again, I wouldn't have all the floors opened up because it would just make it seem even more empty. I try and focus people into one area at the beginning. Yeah, that was by far the hardest part though.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, I think in the tech world, it's like a cold start problem. In these social networks, you get the value from the other users, but the other users aren't there yet because it's really interesting. Was there ever a moment where maybe you started opening up another floor or put on another event, and then it kind of diluted the people? You thought, oh, better bring that back in. Yeah,
definitely.
Right. Yeah.
Like I was pretty ruthless with the events at the beginning, where I was like, if this event doesn't like pop and people are just not liking it, I need to cut it quick because it can almost just be one event that can almost take you down, because then if this people that came to that one associate it now with this space that doesn't have many people, very quickly you get that reputation. It can go snowball the other way, kind of thing. So yeah, like I was like very much like, let's test out an event, give it 1 shot or 2 shots. It's not popular. Okay, try something else. You only have a certain group of people to work with in the beginning. And if you do 2 events and you just split them, it's like, like you said, it dilutes the people there. So you need to kind of almost try and reach out to another type of group of people to come to this event, but not these people migrate to there. Like, I don't know, it was a lot of like juggling and confusion about how to do this, like, and how to expand from this initial one pretty popular event into more. So yeah, still even ongoing have that thought process with our events now. Obviously we have like an event almost every day now, and some of them still will be a bit quiet and we'll have to mix it up and change it, or like do a lot of effort to promote this specific event that is less popular. But I think we've got to a good balance now with most of the events.
Was that process, it was just trial and error with the different events, and
Sure.
So that's the 45 minutes in, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe cap it about an hour, I think. And
whatever you want to do.
keep going for another 3 hours, no problem. Some of those podcasts, they go for like 5-6 hours.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
crazy.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like kind of trial and error with these, trying out different events and expanding. I guess what did it look like from, right at the start all the way to, because it seems at the moment you've got a pretty stable community. People attend the events, and I guess you have that like flexibility to allow other people who want to come in with unknown events. Because it sounds like having that right at the start might have not worked so well.
Yeah.
Or what do you think? Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like, I think it's good to always listen to the feedback from what people say at the event. So like normally some people, I don't really love this type of thing, or you could do this event a bit differently and I prefer it, and really like not be too proud about anything. That's one thing I've learned over the years, to really humble myself and not take anything personally. People don't like something, people complain about something, just be like, okay, like let's adapt, let's listen to it, rather than take it like, oh, like they're insulting me. Because I think normally the people that give me feedback, actually it's because they care, because they want it to do better. And yeah, so I'd listen to that. I'd also listen to suggestions for new events. And yeah, some people would want to host something. And again, sometimes people would want to host something and it didn't do well. And I'd have to kind of be like, okay, like let's try and mix that up or do a different event. And sometimes people would have a suggestion and want to host something, it'd be really popular. So yeah, I guess like, yeah, then really trying to hone in on those events that were popular. And, just help them grow, do whatever I could to kind of like, promote these events, because this is what the people want, essentially. I think the most crucial thing in any of it is just kind of having like my finger on the pulse a little bit of like what's kind of working, what's not. Because as soon as you kind of take your eye off the ball and you can have some stagnant kind of events and stuff, that's when it's the whole concept starts to collapse, because people like you said, they want to be around other people.
This sounds like fuel for cigarette smoking,
For sure. Absolutely.
Keep your finger on the pulse.
Oh yeah.
But I imagine it's a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun and stress combined, and like adrenaline, and like kind of like, because it's a bit humiliating when like, if they kind of don't connect with the space or like with the other people around them, or there's just really few people come to an event, and it's like often it'll be new people that then that's the first time they've come, and it's just like, a bit quiet or like something like that, and you feel a bit like you feel bad for them, but also like you're like, this is not a good reflection on what I'm trying to build. So that can be quite frustrating, and like like I said, like a bit kind of like makes you feel like inadequate in some way, and like you haven't done a good job, you've let this person down that wanted to socialize, and you can't offer that to them. I understand. But that's something that you really have to just swallow and be like, you know what, like, okay, we'll learn from this. We'll move on from it.
I used to put on some like warehouse parties back in Sydney, and I had this experience of some of them would just be very popular and you'd feel great, and then the next one, the same setup, and there'd be like 10 people there, like very grim, and that it's hard not to take it personally, I suppose. So I empathize.